Hi friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a very exciting studio vlog because today I am building my dream yarn shelf. So basically I'm rearranging half my studio, but the main goal of this is to finally have like a really satisfying and colorful yarn shelf because that is currently not the case at my studio. Needs a little refresh. So my yarn is currently in that shelf back there with the doors, but at the same time a lot of the things that are currently stored out in the open are not all that cute. So basically I want to rearrange a lot of things today, move my yarn from this shelf to the shelves that are like on my side that you can't really see right now. So I have a whole different set of shelves back there that's mostly empty currently, and at the same time I'm running out of room in my actual yarn shelf, so we're changing that today. And yeah, you're coming along with me for that. I've already kind of like picked up around the studio, cleaned all the surfaces and vacuumed and all of that. So I think for now I will start by kind of moving my big chair out of that corner for now to have easy access for my current yarn shelf, then remove everything from that shelf, put it on my big table, and start putting in the things that I want to store in there, like kind of covered for now. So that will be the first goal. Then we will start rearranging and yeah, building my dream yarn shelf. So let's start the studio remodel. Okay, so the shelf is now empty and I do have a little bit of leftover wax down here that spilled quite a while ago, which was an unfortunate event. But yeah, I think I will clean up the shelves for now, like vacuum them and wipe them down, and then we can start putting in some of the stuff from over here that's like not all that cute looking, so that it's a little more covered for the future. So yeah, let me clean up the shelf and start putting in some stuff, and then we can start rearranging. So as I said, I want to store lots of candle making supplies in this over here now because those are like not that cute looking. So I think on the bottom I will store my wax most of all because that's kind of heavy, and then also possibly my Jesmonite powder and liquid, but I don't have a ton of that left over here. So for now, just basically the wax, and then we shall see like on the upper shelves how much other space that we have, but as much as I can fit from over there into here, that would be great because I think that would look like way more organized, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So let me move in my wax. I think I will also need to rearrange the shelves and like switch up where they are at to really fit everything. So I will do that. Okay friends, so this is what this corner is looking like now. I cleared out all of these shelves, and then I have basically just packing materials down there, some more Jesmonite, but that is just a little rest. The rest will be stored in here in the future, but for now I will clear that out pretty soon, so I left it out there. And then this shelf I'm not 100% happy with for now, but these are things that I need quite a lot, so all of my molds and stuff. So for now I might keep them there, but we shall see about that. But for now, yeah, this is all of the candle making, and then we have the rest in here. So I basically copied the shelf that was there before and put it in here. I have one more fragrance oil in there, but that is where I have lots of space to store the jasminite in the future once I get some more. And then down here we have some more storage for basically like sealing and some more for mold making, all of that. And then there is all of my wax. I have another box back at home that will fit in there perfectly. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this is looking now. The only thing that I might change in the future is this shelf down there. This is like a little chaotic, but I kind of need that every time I make candles. So for now, this is staying. But now I have all of this space to store all of my vessels, which are currently in this shelf. So all of this will need to be moved back there so that we can basically clear all of this out. I will throw these into my wax because I'm not really using them, so I can use that wax to make some more candles in the future. And yeah, for now, clearing all of that out. These little guys will find a little spot in the meantime, and then we have the whole shelf cleared for some yarn storage. And yeah, let me show you what's down here as well. So down here we basically already have a yarn storage. So this is all of my yarn for chickens. I have a couple of Bernat blanket yarns that I got when I was in Canada in the summer. So I have a little bit left that I want to use up in the future. I have a little bit of fabric when I thought I was going to get into sewing. I'm not sure what I will do with that. I might just stay here for now. And yeah, so this is already kind of being used as yarn storage. So this will more or less stay the same down here. But then over there, and I also have these two white shelves that I got for a market in the winter, but I ended up not really using them, so I want to like resell them on a secondhand marketplace. So I already took some pictures of those, and yeah, I just need to put that up and hopefully sell them like for super cheap. But I just want to have them gone because they're taking up so much space and I don't really need them. So these I might move just to the side to have a little more space. And then down here we have all of that space where my wax used to be at. So we can put in some more shelving down here and also store some more yarn here in the future. But for now, I will be quite busy moving all of that stuff to over there. Okay friends, so as you can see, we have now completely cleared out what is going to be my new yarn shelf, and the other things that were stored here are now stored back there, and it's actually looking quite empty in this new shelf because this one is deeper than this one. So yeah, it actually looks like I still have quite a lot to do for making stock. But now for my yarn shelf, before I start to actually put in yarn, I have two things in mind that I want to do. Actually three. I should clean the shelves as well, but yeah. I also want to move this shelf from where it's currently standing, so it's like right next to the window now, but I want to actually move it, and sorry that I keep moving you around, but I want to move it and scoot it back there that you can still open the doors for the other shelf, but I want to move it back there and actually have my big chair set right here to like kind of have a cozy little corner by the window to sit there and crochet, and hopefully use that chair a little more in the future. So before I put anything in, I actually want to move the shelf and put it in its new position and see if I like it like that. So I think I need to take everything down that's up there, like all of my decorations for product pictures and stuff. I need to take those down, and then hopefully I will be able to move the shelf because there's like almost nothing in there now. But we shall see if that works out the way I want it to. So let's go. Okay friends, so as you just saw, I ended up moving the shelf, which ended up going pretty smoothly, I think. So that was a success. And then I also moved the big chair over here, and I didn't have the easiest time to decide which way I wanted to face, but I ended up going with like facing the window because of how big this chair is. I think it's just better to face it like slightly outward and have a little more space in the actual studio room. So that is what I ended up doing. I think I really like this new spot. So I think I will definitely use this chair a lot more when it's set up here right now. And also like the studio itself looks so much bigger now with the big chair out of that corner. I ended up moving my plant back there, and the other bigger plant is sitting like right next to my big desk. So I really like the space. Also, like rearranging it like this gives me like almost two separate studio spaces, because over here I have like my yarn, my crochet chair, all of that, and then back at the back wall I will have all of my candle making supplies, and like everything candle making will be happening in that corner, and I won't need to take my wax all through my room and have like a huge mess. I can kind of keep it back there, and over here I can have more of a crocheting space. I'm already really liking the remodel of the studio space. So yeah, now we're getting to the big thing. So we will be building my yarn shelf. So let me clean up the little shelves because they're kind of dusty from all of the candle making things that were stored on there. And then we will get into the yarn shelf finally. Okay friends, so now before we put in the yarn, the last step is going to be kind of like closing up the sides, because these shelves are like open to the side, and once I start to store my yarn in here, I'm scared that it's going to fall out. So I actually asked you guys a couple of weeks ago if anybody knew any ideas on how to like kind of close up the sides and make this really usable as a yarn shelf. And somebody commented and sent me a YouTube tutorial to help with the open sides for these IKEA shelves, and I ended up deciding that I wanted to go with that. So I ended up buying these bamboo sticks just like that. I ended up buying a 100 pack, so we will see how much I will actually need of those. But yeah, these are just like little bamboo sticks, and these are the perfect size to fit in these little holes that are like for the shelves. So you can adjust the shelves. These fit in there perfectly like that. They're a little too long though, so they're exactly as long as the shelf is deep, so I will need to cut them, but these fit in there perfectly, and I want to cut them so that you can really like put them in there. And this will kind of like close up the sides if you put it into like every hole. That kind of like creates almost like a closed side, so that hopefully the yarn will stay in there. So this is kind of the vision. That is what I'm going for. So I will now need to measure like how long I need to cut all of these little wooden sticks and put them in there. And then we will have a super duper closed sides yarn shelf that, yeah, is the yarn shelf of my dreams. So let's go and work with these wooden sticks. Okay, so basically what I'm thinking is I want to stick it in one side all the way to the end of the hole, and then kind of do a little like overlap on the other side, not all the way till the end of that hole, because I don't think I will able to put that in if it's long like that, but I want to like have it a little longer than what's in between these two parts of the shelf so that it really stays in there. So I've marked it off, and I've brought over a saw, so I will try and saw this first stick off, see if it works, and then we can do all of the others the same way. Okay, so I ended up needing to cut it a second time, but now I think it's the perfect length to not come out by accident, but yeah, to be really stuck in there. So now I will need to cut quite a lot of them to this length before we can put them in here. So I will be busy for quite a while, I think. Okay, so actually slight change of plans because I will actually need so many of these bamboo sticks that I would be stuck here sawing for such a long time. So I will actually go ahead and ask my boyfriend if he can cut the sticks that I need at his workshop, like with a machine and not by hand, because that will be like so much quicker. So I will actually have to leave this project for today, and I will check in with you guys probably in a couple days once I have these sticks cut to the right length, and we will finally finish up this project. So stay tuned. I will meet you in just a second for you, but a couple days for me. Okay friends, we're back at the studio as you can tell, and it's now Sunday, so my goal today is to finish out this studio remodel and finally finish my dream yarn wall. So that is the big goal for today. I'm so excited about it. And last time I left you off on Friday when I realized that it would be very time intense for me to cut all of the little wooden skewers to the right size, and I decided to give them to my boyfriend to cut them at the shop, and that is what he did. So we have all of the wooden skewers now at the same length. They're all shortened. So I need to unwrap that and try them out if they're now the right size, which they should probably be. And then we can start adding them to the sides of the shelf and start adding some yarn. So let me unwrap this because this plastic is already making quite a lot of noise, and then we will get started. So these are now the perfect length. I was easily able to fit it in here, and when you like move it around, it can't come out on accident, so it's long enough for that. So these are actually perfect for this purpose now, and I think for now I will start by adding in skewers to every second, so every other little hole, because I think that is enough. I don't need to add it into every single one, but we shall see about that. I will start out by doing it this way, and yeah, I think that will be enough. Okay, so I finished the first part of adding the skewers to the sides. So I did end up adding it into every other hole for now. Like I said, I would over here, but I'm not really sure if I like it that way or if I preferred this way where I started adding it into every single hole. I think I kind of like the closed off look a little more, so I might add those as well. And then I have decided as well if I am going to add in little skewers in the middle here, because while the yarn is not going to fall out in the middle, I think it will make it easier to keep it a little more like organized when the skeins aren't like falling all the way from one side to the other, because the yarn is able to fit through here. So I'm not entirely sure what I should do. So I also don't know if I have enough skewers to do that, if I end up putting them into every single hole. I have this many left, so I think I need to decide if I want to add them in every single hole or if I want to add them in the middle as well. So not sure what to do. Okay, so the yarn wall or yarn shelf is now completely prepped. We have all the skewers added to the sides, and we're now ready to actually tackle my yarn stash. So quite a lot of it is sitting on my desk currently, which we pulled out of my old yarn storage. So it's still in the little white cubes, and then I have not one, not two, but 3 big boxes of yarn that were orders that came in, I think, late December or so, and I never unpacked them. So we have quite a lot of yarn to go through and start sorting through and start sorting into this yarn shelf. So for now, my kind of plan is to make it like a satisfying rainbow, as I think most people do. So we will start up here with yellow, then orange, red. I think here should be pink, or we might do it this way, or like rose, not sure. So pink, purples, blues, turquoise, and then greens up here. And then down on the covered part of the shelf, I think I will do all of my whites, grays, black, and browns. Not sure if that will all fit down here. And then over here, we already have quite a lot of my like bigger chicken yarn, which I think will stay here. And then we can add all of my like speckle and variegated yarn down here as well, I think, to make it really cohesive. So that is the plan for now. I think I will start by dumping all of my things out that are currently sitting on my desk and starting to sort them into kind of like where I just told you things will be. And then we can add, once we start to unpack all of my yarn orders, we can always add to the shelf to make it a little less chaotic for now, I think. Yeah, so that is the plan. Let me flip you around and we will start going through my yarn stash. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. This is what we left from when I pulled everything out on Friday. So I will start to empty these out, but like not put them all on the table because I think that will get chaotic so quickly. But we will already start to put all of the yarn into the shelf in kind of like their right spots, and yeah, start to move things around once we start adding all of these huge boxes that are under my desk. This is only one of them, and I think this is the smallest out of all of them. So we have a lot of yarn to go through, and yeah, let's go. I think this will be the most satisfying and fun part of this whole studio makeover. So I'm actually really excited. Okay, so first I think I will start out with all of the neutrals because they're kind of like balancing up here in a very kind of dangerous situation. So we have white and browns, and then we have the black and gray. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's already falling out, and this one has lost half of its label, so I might actually take that back home and wind it because that's going to get chaotic really quickly. I'm not sure if all of you noticed, I also have a small yarn stash back at home, which is where I store all of the like non-full skeins. Like once I start pulling something out of my storage and start working on it, I usually take it back home because I tend to crochet quite a lot over there as well, and I try and use up all of my skeins back at home, and I start like caking them and winding them and storing them back home. So I think all of the ones that don't really have a label anymore, I will take home and use up there to have just full skeins in my yarn storage. So let's start with black, I think, and that will go into the covered part down here, and I think I might put it, not sure if you can actually see me, and I think I will put the black and the white on the bottom shelf because I don't really have to go through them to try and pick different shades because there's literally only one shade of black and one shade of white. So I think the bottom shelf will be perfect for Joe's to, are they even colors? Is black and white a color or shades? For black and white, I will put them all the way to the bottom. And let's see, I'm not sure how wide these shelves are, so like how many skeins I can fit next to one another, but I think that's 2, 4, 6, 8. I think 10 should be able to fit. Let me try it out just with some other colors just to see if 10 is actually, yeah, I think 10 is perfect. So I think we will do 5 and 5 for black and white, so these two will not go here. Okay, so that is all of my black from my stash, and then we have the white over here. And I also have a couple of skeins of cream in the white, but I think I will add that somewhere else, like not with the white, because that is actually like, this actually has different shades, so not sure if it will come across on camera, but these are different shades of cream, and just to like avoid mixing up white and cream. I will put cream somewhere else and white down here. So we also have 8 skeins of white, and I know I have ordered quite a lot more of that, but I think white and black are shades that you can't really have enough of because you basically need them for so many different plushies. So I always tend to get a couple of skeins for those whenever I order yarn. Should we do gray next? And then browns up here. I think that makes more sense. So we will throw the brown up here. Cream, not sure. That might have to be like here with the gray because I think I have a lot more brown than gray. So we will put that here for now. So gray we really don't have a ton of. I only have one singular skein of this dark gray, but I know that it's somewhere in my yarn orders. I got some more of that, so we will put it here for now. And then we have 3 of the same gray, which is like the lighter gray. And then we have one which doesn't have a label, but I think I will still leave it here. I'm breaking my own rules already, so we will keep that here. And for now, that is all the gray, but we will add to it once we start unpacking some of my orders. So now the final, I guess, neutral are all of these browns, and I have some more up here. So let me grab them and then we will start to add them in here. Okay, so for brown, I think I will go from dark to light. And I have 3 of the dark brown. And then I think next is this shade, like a nice teddy bear color. So this next, and then we have this color, which is one of my favorite shades of brown. So that will come here. I think we'll put sand next because that's like another warm brown. So this will stay here. And I have so much more of this yarn somewhere because, as we all know, I'm obsessed with making hoodie bears, and this is the perfect color for these hoodie bears. So I know that I have quite a lot more of that somewhere else. That actually looks really nice. Oh, you can't even see. Like so. And then we have a ton of this more like colder beige brown. And I thought I would like this color a lot more than I actually do. So we have so much of it. But the best thing to use this up on is actually capybaras. So this is the perfect color for those. So I will end up making quite a lot of those to kind of get my stash under control for these. So let me open this. This is like the loudest packaging ever. I think that is all of the neutrals for now. We will revisit this shelf once we start unpacking some yarn orders. But for now, this is completed and we can close this up and move on to some more colorful colors, colorful shades, colorful yarn. We will move up here. Okay, so next for the first actual color, I think we will start with yellow. And I have a ton of yellow because I think at one point I ordered like 20 skeins of it for one order. So I still have 10 of those, and I think I didn't get any in my other yarn orders. So I think we can start out by putting them all up here because there's probably nothing that will be added to here. It's like the first section done. And then I have these 2 like mustard yellows, which we can finally add with the rest of the yellow. It's actually perfect for 3 on top of one another, and that is so satisfying. And then next we have some orange. So this is like the classic bird feet color that I use. So we will add that here. Only 2 of those. There might be some more in my yarn orders. Wow, this is quite the chaotic skein. I think I've had this for quite a while. So it's looking a little rough. This is like this really bright orange. Sometimes does super well, sometimes doesn't sell for a while. So that is that. And then let's put red over here, because then we have a little more space to fill this part up once we start unpacking some yarn. And we can always move around this stuff later. So we have some bright red, just one more in this darker red. It's just slightly darker, it's not like a ton different. And we actually don't have any more. So should we move on to pink down here? I'm actually so confused on what I should do. I honestly also don't have any idea what's in my stash. So this is very interesting to me as well, because I don't really know what I actually have. So yeah, we will just move on for now and then unpack all of the yarn at once. Okay, next we have pink, and I think I will put it down here. So just classic pink. I know I got a lot more of that as well in my orders. So let's put it like this for now. Then we have this variegated pink. We have bright pink and muted pink and very hot pink, which I actually really like. I should keep using that a lot more often. Okay, let's move on to blue. Let me just put you down here. And blue is kind of, I don't have a ton of that in my stash, but I think I have a ton of it in my orders. So for now, we will just throw that in here, possibly this way. And this is kind of like the same as the pink. I will keep it up here, even though it is technically variegated, but it's not Hobie yarn. So this will be up here with the other blue. And for now, I think I will keep the blue like this. And then let's put turquoise here. So we have mint. So we have 5 skeins of mint, which is quite a lot. And I don't tend to use that a ton. So I don't know why I got this much. Then we have 2 classic turquoise. And then we have one in this really weird turquoise. I'm not sure if it's coming across on camera, but it's like very shiny for some reason. So this is kind of like an interesting color that I would love to actually use up pretty soon. So I might actually take that back home, because it's like a chaotic skein and I think I've already used some of it. So we will take that back home and try and use it soon, because I don't like it. So we will get rid of it by using it. And then we have 3 dark turquoise skeins, which we will put up here now. And then the final color for this shelf will be green. And I actually have quite a lot of that. So let's add that. Okay, so next for green, I think some of my favorite yarn shades are green. So let's start out with this apple green. I have 2 of those. For now, I think I have more in my orders. I have 2 more in this apple green, but it's like a slightly different shade from this yarn brand. But it's similar, but it's not exactly the same. So these will sit next to one another. We have 1 bright green. This is one of my favorite yarns. I love making dinos in these. I think they come out so cute. So one of my favorite shades. And I'm not sure if I got any more of it, or I might order some of that soon. So that is like one of the things that I'm really excited about with this shelf, that I will finally be able to tell what I'm running low on just in one glance alone, so that I can, be more structured with reordering my yarn. Sorry, I'm rearranging this skein in the meantime, because some of my yarn brands that I use, like Liami for example, once they restock, you kind of have to be quick, because they're not always stocked. And it is an advantage to know what you need once they restock, to be able to get everything that you want. Then we have 4 in this, like, is it army green kind of? So I use this for mallards, upper halves, and then natural looking turtles. So quite a a lot of this is being used. The final skein for now is this very muted dark green, which I really like. I want to make another sunflower turtle with this soon because I think that is a perfect body shade for that. So let's add that. And that is my whole stash for what I had in stock at the end of December. Not that anybody asked, but it's so interesting to me. Like, this looks so empty now. And when I had it in my other yarn shelf, it actually looked super full. So I'm already so excited about this new storage. So let me break down all of these white boxes because I will no longer need them to be built up at all times. I use them sometimes for markets, so I'm really glad that I got them still, but I don't need them to take up space. So I will break them down and then we will get into my 3 big yarn orders. I'm so excited. Okay, so that was actually not a lot of fun. That was actually kind of rough on my hands. So I'm glad that this part is over. And can we talk about how cute this new angle of filming is? I love the yarn wall in the background already. And I can't imagine that it has taken me over a year in the studio to finally have a yarn wall. So yeah, I'm now really excited to get into all of my huge packages. I think I will start out with the big Hobie package because I want to put that mostly down there with my chicken yarn, because most of the yarn that I got from Hobie is their speckled yarn. So I got that not at the end of December, I got that for their Black Friday sale, and ever since then this huge box has been living under my desk. So I'm excited to get some leg room back, and yeah, without a lot of talking, let's start unboxing it and yeah, putting it away as well. So I actually have no idea what's in there. I started pulling out some skeins here and there during my crazy winter market prep. So it's not the whole order anymore. It's less than that. So let's get into it. Okay, so apart from the Honey Bunny candy yarn that I got, I also got some of their Black Friday chenille yarn. So they have like some special yarn during Black Friday, which is this. And it's so much thinner and honestly not that great quality yarn as my other yarn. So I don't really know what I will use this for. I got quite a lot of colors, sadly. So I have all this and this and this as well. So we have 4 of this tan yarn because I thought I might be able to make some hoodie bears with it, but honestly I really don't like the texture of it, so I don't know what to do with it. So I might make like a blanket or something out of it at some point. I got quite a lot of like white speckle. So this is color 03 and it has these like blue, dark blue, orange and yellow speckles. We have the color 5, which has like, it's more like spring coated, I think. It's like pink and blue, lime green and green. So I actually like the colorways. I just, like, this is so thin. It doesn't make any sense to make a plushie out of it. And yeah, it still says that it's a size 6 yarn, which really it isn't. It is like not even a size 5 yarn. So yeah, I really don't know. I kind of regret getting it. So we have quite a lot of that. And then we have color 6, which is like mint and blue speckles in this white yarn. So for now, we will find a corner on my shelf down there to add this to. And yeah, we will use it up at some point, but I don't really have any plans for it right now. So we shall see what we do with it in the future. Okay, so I just took a second to rearrange the shelf down here. So I put all of the chicken yarn down into the bottom shelf here, and I have a ton of it because they decided to discontinue this yarn on me. And I got super lucky because I was looking for this yarn and tried to reorder just a little bit to make some more chickens, and I ended up not being able to find it like on all of the sites where I usually got it from. So I scoured the internet then in panic mode, and I found one last website where I was able to buy quite a wide range of this yarn, and I ended up clearing them completely out of it. So I ended up getting so much of this yarn, and in five different colorways. So I have 31 skeins of it currently in those 5 different colors, and yeah, I will be able to make quite a lot of chickens from that. And I might actually make a challenge video in the future where I try and use up all of this yarn and at least make like the chicken bodies for it without finishing them up, just to like gain a little more storage down here, because then this yarn will be more condensed once I have made it into chicken bodies, and I don't really use it for anything else except for chicken bodies. So yeah, we have 31 skeins of that down here. So this is where it's hanging out, and I can't get it anymore. So that's super sad. That will be the final chickens that I will be able to make with these speckled colors. I do make solid colored chickens as well, which I will still be able to make in the future, but for this type of chicken, these will be the final ones. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I might make a challenge, as I said, but we have one shelf completely filled with this chicken yarn, and then up here, as I said, I have some fabric and some Bernat blanket from when I was in Canada. Well, these are just the final few skeins. I brought back a whole lot more, and I've already used up quite a lot of it. So these are just the final few that I will be savoring for a long time, I think, because I can't really get it here, or it's just like very, very expensive. So it doesn't really make sense for me to get it here. But yeah, I really like working with it, and I wish it was more easily available for me. But yeah, for now, for my Black Friday chenille yarn, let me count how many skeins of the Honey Bunny candy I have, and if this will be enough to fill the whole shelf, because then I will put it up here, like the Black Friday chenille yarn, and if I have enough space down here, I might put both the candy and the Black Friday yarn down here. So let me count that, and then we will add all of those to the shelves. Okay, so I have 24 of the Honey Bunny candy, so I will start by filling the shelf with that, and we will start out with the biggest amount that I got in one color. So I got 7 of the white Honey Bunny candy, and I honestly don't know why I got 7 of those, because I haven't used a single one of them. So yeah, let me know down in the comments down below if you use this yarn. What do you use the white variation of it for? Because I honestly have no idea. I think maybe like a bear would be fun, like bigger plushies that are like solid colored, but then again it's white, so I'm not sure if white plushies would like sell super well because they can get dirty so easily. But yeah, I don't know what to use it up on, so let me know if you have any ideas. Then I have 2 more of the black left. I already used one of those. I have 1 dark blue. I think I only got 1 dark blue, so here it is. I have 2 blue. I don't think I've used any of those. 3 more green. I think I've used up 2 of those. I made lots of my popping Christmas trees with it. We have 3 more pink. I've used up 1 of those already. We have 3 more in this lilac, and I've used 1 of them. And then I have 1 more purple. Same with that. I already used up 1 of those. And then I have 1 more of the Christmas candy yarn. I had some more of the Christmas range. I had like the green one with the red and white speckles. I used up all of that for Christmas trees. And I had red glitter and green glitter. Green glitter I used up for Christmas trees as well, for the little popping ones. And then the red glitter I made a hoodie bear with, and I'm still working on using that up completely. So this is the last of the Christmas yarn and the last of the box. And now for the Black Friday chenille. I think it will live up here for now. So let's add it. All right, and I think this shelf is pretty full now. So let's close it up and move on to my next yarn order. All right, so my next yarn order is from Leami, where I used to get all of my yarn from, but now I've switched over to some other suppliers as well, mostly Himalaya Dolphin Baby and another German supplier, Wolle 1000. They have similar chenille yarns, all certified, and they are a lot cheaper per skein and also more readily available for me, because as I said before, Leami tends to sell out of their colors pretty quickly once they restock, so you kind of have to be quick. But I still have some shades that I really love from their color range, so I ended up reordering some of that in December, I think. So let's get into it. So we have some dark gray, because I had only one of those. We have some more bear color. We have some dark blue, and I've already taken out one of those skeins. Lilac, medium blue, or like royal blue, I guess. Some of their like sea glass turquoise, which is the color 115, and I really like this color, and I've not found a supplier that has quite the same shade, so I still use this one. And I got some more of that, so 8 skeins in total. I think I got 9, and I already took one of those out. Then we have some orange, which I got because, I remember now. I got this orange, which is like just classic orange, but they have like some like second chance yarn, I guess. Sometimes when they're able to like tell there's like lots of factory knots in it, or it's like super fluffy and stuff like that, they reduce the price of the whole pack quite a lot. So I ended up getting that because I use the orange mostly for bird feed, and I don't need a ton of it at a time. So I think even though this might have a lot more factory knots, it's still perfectly fine for the purpose that I use it for. So I think that is why I got that. 2 in this pastel orange, which I use for cats. I think I should have gotten more of that because I have none left. And 2 is not a lot. 2 each for the variegated blue and pink. And then some more teddy bear, and I already took one of those out, so we have 4 more in here. Yeah, I ordered 10 of them, so we have 9 left of that. And that is my Leami order, and I might actually get into the last order as well right now, so that we can put all of it away at once. Okay, so let's get into the final yarn order, and I already threw away the original box for it, so this box is now kind of overflowing with yarn because I just threw all of that in here, and I've already started to use up quite a lot of that order because this is like my new favorite yarn supplier. So it's the Wolle 1000, which I was talking about just a second ago. So they have almost exactly the same colors as Leami does. I think it's basically the same yarn. It's certified, and it's I think 50 cents per skein cheaper. So I decided to switch over to that mostly, and yeah, start using their yarn quite a lot. And I got quite the big order in from them. I think it was end of December as well. So let's see what's left from my order from back then, because as I said, I've been using that yarn quite a lot for my makes. So yeah, let's start out with the top and work our way towards the bottom of the box. So we have 3 sand, and I think there might be some more down there. So this is the color 18, really nice teddy bear color. And they also sell Himalaya Dolphin Baby, so this is like a mixture of these 2 types of yarns or yarn brands, So we have quite a lot of light blue and then some more. We have some more cream, 2 new shades of purple, and I got some more new shades of purple which I've started to use and I really like. So these 2 more new shades. This absolutely destroyed package of bright green, and I think I've used up one of those skeins as well. And this is exactly the same shade as I was talking about earlier, or like more or less exactly the same, which might just be because it's different lots. So yeah, exactly the same, works up wonderfully and is cheaper. So that is why I switched mostly. So this is one of my favorite colors. We have some more apple green, black, white, more black, more white. So I think we're good on black and white. Gray, quite a lot of it. And then some more baby pink. So that is all of my yarn. And I will flip you around in just a second and show you what I'm looking at, because this is kind of insane. But I'm very confident that we now actually have enough space to fit all of that on my shelves. So let's go. All right, friends, are you ready for the grand reveal? I'm so happy with how my yarn shelf turned out. So let me get right into it and not take a long time talking before I show you. So let us face the yarn wall. So this is what it ended up looking like. I ended up moving some yarns over. So as you see, I ended up moving the pink up here, purple and blue and turquoise are now on this shelf. We have green, and then all of the browns, or like all of the warmer toned browns, are now up here. So I ended up having so much brown that I ended up needing 2 shelves for it. So we also have some more down here. So when we look at this, we also have another brown shelf. This is more of like a beige shelf, I guess. Then we have some black and white extra storage. So 3 of the black and 2 of the white I couldn't fit on the bottom shelf. So we definitely have enough black and white for now. So yeah, then we have a lot of gray. Can't even see. All of that gray and some dark gray as well. And then we have black and white, 15 skeins each down here. So definitely enough of that. And yeah, so we have extended the brown shelf up here, which I don't actually mind, because I think this actually looks pretty good and makes me very excited to work on some more bears in the future. So let's close up this side and then move on to the other. So down here we have some more chaotic yarn storage. So we have Bernat, Black Friday, candy yarn, and then chicken yarn down here, which is the funny dots yarn that is discontinued. And yeah, so you guys, I am so happy with how my studio is looking now. This is just the biggest part of it. We ended up cleaning up basically the whole studio, and I'm so excited to get working on here and make some new projects in here. I can also definitely tell that I tend to have quite a lot of skeins of one shade, but I don't have a wide variety of shades. So I think I want to improve that in the future. And I'm also seeing like a little, possibly a challenge coming up where I try and use up some of these colors where I have like 9 of each of those. So I might pick out a fun challenge for that as well. Also, if you have any suggestions, what fun little things we can work on to get some more variety into this yarn shelf, leave them down in the comments below. But I am so glad now that you watched this video all the way until the end, and I will see you guys again next week for another video. So until then, bye!